So I hadn't checked the rugby news for a few hours. There's my mistake, of course. I look at the news and Wales have dropped their announcement. The WRU have said what they're going to do for their professional domestic game going forward. And I thought, let's react to this live. I haven't looked through it. I haven't scripted it. I'm going to go through the BBC feed bit by bit and react as I go. I'll probably put a graphic on the side, which, will be after the fact, so I won't really know what that is until the end. And let me know what you think. I've done plenty of videos on this before. My last one basically saying, I'm pretty sure Reddin would love to go down to 2 clubs and make it all squished together and consolidate everything, but let's see what they're going to do. So I'll probably cut and edit between these takes as I go up and get more information. But yeah, let me know what you think. This is big news. They're obviously trying to get it in before those November internationals start. Okay, let's go to the first summary from the press conference. The WRU has formally announced plans to cut Wales's 4 teams, 4 regions down to 3. Well, there we go. There's the headline, 3. I am convinced Reddin wanted 2. They've obviously listened to all the feedback which says, I hate that, and they've said, okay then, 3. So here we go, 3. The decision is that the future structure of the elite men's game will be based on 3 teams, replacing 4, alongside 2 women's elite teams. That's interesting. So they are going to be new. There aren't 2 elite women's teams yet. There are women's teams, but not 2 elite ones. So that's a massive restructure for the women's game. And I'm sure the women's game will probably benefit the most from this restructure, giving the women's nationals team a better chance to compete. So that's really good news for them. It then goes on to say the union proposes to grant 3 licenses for men's clubs. So they haven't decided what those licenses are going to be. By the sounds of it, we will see. Oh, here we go. 1 for the capital. So a Cardiff franchise, whatever that's going to be called. Cardiff, I don't know. 1 for the west of Wales and 1 for the east of Wales. So there we go. It is an east and west, but we have a central as well. So East Wales, well, that's Dragons. That's Newport, right? And then West Wales, it's one of Ospreys or Scarlets or a combination or something new. So straight away to me that says Scarlets and Ospreys fans are going to be the most disappointed with this announcement, because surely that means Dragons kind of lives on a bit in maybe not name, so does Cardiff, but Ospreys and Scarlets will not. Then it says there will be equal funding for the 3 squads. Okay, so it's not a 2 big squads and then 1 smaller team. It is 6.4 rising to 7.8. And it does say by 2027. So I wonder how this is going to be phased in. Okay, on to the next segment here. It says we've heard loud and clear. Okay, so Richard Collier-Keywood is saying he's listened to what people have said and we agree. Okay, any change is difficult. We have current contractual obligations. Right, so I guess that 2027 is because they're currently contractually obligated to the URC with 4 clubs, so that's why it's not immediate, but 2027 isn't far away at all. Okay, this is interesting. They then say we want to involve the URC and owners and managers of the current clubs of how we get to our chosen destination. So we're going to ask the 4, how do we get to 3? So what's that? Just a straight out fist fight or something between Ospreys and Scarlets? This may take some time. You tell me. This is going to be absolutely a bloodbath. However, if it ultimately proves impossible to reach a consensus, I think it might. How is this going to change? There will be a transparent and tendering process for the 3 licenses. So basically a job interview. So all 4 are going to go in and say, we should have the license because, and it's like a redundancy hearing basically. Ouch, this is going to be horrible. We have already guaranteed that all existing player contracts will be honoured. Okay, so they're going to play players' contracts even if they end up not having a club at the end of 2027, but I don't know how long certain players' contracts are. That will be dependent, although Jack Morgan has already started talking to Saracens. I wonder if that will change with this announcement. We will see. Okay, so that's pretty big. Okay, let's go on to Dave Reddin's bit. He said new proposals have been built from the ground up to drive success. Okay, destined to raise standards, restore the DNA of Welsh rugby and deliver a step forward in performance. Okay, let's take that step by step here. Many people saying if they went to 2 clubs, that simply wouldn't be enough players to improve performance. So I guess 3 would be better. It would be a bigger playing pool. So I think that's fair enough. But does just having 3 teams instead of 4 mean you have better players? I'm not sure. Okay, but maybe. But the bit I really don't like here is restore the DNA of Welsh rugby. I don't think that's going to go down very well. I don't think you restore the DNA of Welsh rugby, which is local clubs to certain towns, by going down from 4 to 3 when the 4 weren't even really that representative anyway. So not sure that's going to go down well. Reddin accepts the original 2-club model had been met with opposition. Okay, right. He definitely wanted 2, or that's what I think anyway. And there's been so much opposition, he said, okay, how about 3? Concerns of players and the deep passion and heritage of our teams. I really don't know how going to 3 protects heritage at all. It just means they've kind of compromised, I think. On balance, we feel that this 3-team structure protects that for most whilst managing necessary reduction. So they've got to save some money somehow. So it's a bit of a fudge is what I take from that. The DNA thing, ignore that. Why did he say that? Is it going to improve standards? Maybe. That's what's really going to be the crux of this. Does it improve the Welsh team? Does it improve the standard of those Welsh clubs in the URC or wherever they play? Then it goes on to a bit about the women's game, and they are the big winners here for sure. WRU says it will fund 2 elite women's teams, yes, as well as having their own national academy, fantastic, and 3 women's development centres. Okay, I guess that will be West, Cardiff and East as well. There we go. So yeah, there's going to be more money. It's going to be a big leap forward for Welsh women's rugby, so that's only a good thing there. Then there's a little thing from the BBC saying Dragons and Cardiff have funding deals to 2028, but Scarlets and Ospreys run out in 2027. I just think it looks like a straight fight between Scarlets and Ospreys or something new. Let me know what you think there, but yeah, that seems like what it's going to be. Then we have a little graph here about how the funding's going to slowly creep up to the 7.8 million per annum, equal between the 3. I think that is the right way to go. I don't think having 2 big clubs and 1 smaller club really helps anything. You might as well fund it equally, whether it was 2 or 3. So creeping up a little bit towards 2030, although by then they still will be well behind big English clubs, big Irish clubs, obviously miles behind French clubs. Then there's a bit about how businesses will fit into this. The House of Luxury, yeah, they've said they were going to invest in the Scarlets, but now it's all up in the air, of course, so it was weird timing to start with. And then just to finish up, the WRU chairman says that the Ospreys and the Scarlets are not in competition. What a load of rubbish, when they've just said one of the teams is going to be in Cardiff. That's Cardiff. One of the teams is going to be the East. Well, I don't think the Ospreys are going to be moving to Newport, are they? That's Newport Dragons and one in the West. I mean, come on, that's a silly thing to say there. And we finish up with the Dragons pleased by the proposals. Of course they are. They're absolutely over the moon. Financially, they were in a decent position, but on the pitch, they've been the worst region by miles for ages. So they're going to be absolutely delighted. Then a bit about politicians weighing in already, saying the Scarlets should be protected. Peel saying he can't imagine Welsh rugby without Scarlets. The fight has begun. So there we go. That's my live reaction. I think they definitely wanted 2. There's been so much opposition. They've compromised at 3 equally funded clubs. 1 will be cut, and it's going to be Ospreys or the Scarlets. And will there be new names and that sort of thing? I imagine there will be as well. So wow, massive news for Welsh rugby. Please let me know what you think down below. I can't wait to read your comments. It's going to be very interesting, and I'll catch you next time.